co-host.
Welcome back. It's Saturday, and you know what that means. Episode 5, Saturday SmackTalk. We are back. College football week 1 is in the books. NFL is underway, and of course, the WWE is going towards a new era. Josh and I are back to cover it all things WWE, college football, and NFL. Josh, how are you doing? Even though I know week 1 was not great, who could have foreseen it coming? Dropping the ball in week 1. With all the smack talk, all the hype, and 0-1. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I've been better. At least I've been successful this weekend in some of my events this weekend. But it's week 1. It's the start of a season, the new season, and still plenty of weeks to go. Plenty of work to be done. But overall, some good stuff to be excited about, and week 1 jitters out of the way. Time to get back on the train and get it rolling.
Yeah, that's about all you can do. All you can do, and just bounce back. I mean, Penn State doesn't need to bounce back. I will say I'm not gonna go too much into that on that one, because they start the season off with 3 cakewalks of teams, so I know how that goes. And only thing I'll say about Penn State right off the bat to kick it off is, the win last weekend was great. But the new breaking news surrounding Penn State is that they have agreed to a 10-year deal with Adidas as their new official apparel partner across all the entire athletic programs there at Penn State and State College. And I'm not a fan. Not a fan at all. Needs to be Nike. It's always been Nike for as long as I can remember. And it's always been really, really cool to see Penn State and Nike together, and the history there. Although the reports coming out is that Nike was not as lenient with Penn State and as they were with other schools, even though Penn State was one of the biggest ones that they had in the college level to be affiliates with. But Penn State and Adidas agreed to a monster 10-year deal for their official apparel brand, and they play today at noon, as I believe Texas does as well. So they, like you said, they'll bounce back and get on track, and Penn State will keep rolling. But lot went down last night on SmackDown, so can roll right into it with Monday Night Raw, review SmackDown, and then talk a little bit about your other team, the Cowboys, doing what the Cowboys do, and that is losing in prime time.
Debatable. I'll say that when we get to that section.
We roll into Monday Night Raw. We have Jimmy Uso showing up and helping Jay there to end the show, the main event, after Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker went up against LA Knight and Jey Uso. They kicked the show off, issuing that tag challenge. It was set for the main event. As we know, Adam Pearce, he knows what's going on with setting the main events before the show. and they did, do that match after Clash in Paris. Not much went down at Clash in Paris that we didn't expect to go down. Pretty sure all the champions retained. Seth Rollins, of course, had help after the Bronze were banned from ringside. Paul Heyman was taken out due to Roman Reigns. He did get the win, put Paul Heyman in the guillotine, and then he got taken out to go and film Street Fighter. So that comes out next year in October. So hopefully he gets done filming and then is back. Don't know if at this point, if he's going to be at WrestlePalooza, but your thoughts on the main events and the kicking off and then the main event parts of it, and Jimmy returning with Jey, seemingly going to see the Usos be back together.
Yeah. I love the Usos together, brother, but I have got to tell you, I am not satisfied with Jey's singles run. Right? None of his titles he's never really held on to him for a month or a little bit over a month. I'm not ready for him to get back with Jimmy. And really, I think they've done a disservice to Jimmy Uso and his talents as well, because he hasn't had a great run as a singles competitor either. It seems like he's had more losses than wins, and even if I'm wrong numbers wise, that's the vibe or the feel that I get from his singles run, is that it's been worse than it's been good. So, and he's a very talented wrestler, just like his brother. And I feel like it's just been wasted. And it's almost like they're like, oh, yeah, well, he hasn't gotten over, so let's just put him back with Jey.
Yep.
And you're going to stifle Jey to bring Jimmy up. And, I wouldn't mind seeing them in tag match every once in a while, but I don't want them back together permanently.
Yeah.
It's one, and,
I mean, it looks like they were going that way, in that direction for a while now. And I am now joining the TikTok live and live on TikTok for Saturday SmackTalk as well. So we'll see how this goes as well. So that's why I'm looking over to the right. Looks like we do have one viewer in there on the YouTube, probably my wife Martina. So the house is quiet and we're ready to rock and roll here. But yes, Jimmy and Jey Uso. It does, it was up in the air, but it did look like Jey was ready to get back and into the tag team. He's kind of done everything that he can as a single star for being as famous of a tag team wrestler that he is, him and Jimmy both. And I thought maybe after Sami won the U.S. title, Jimmy came out and was celebrating with him. So, thought they could go in the direction of Jimmy's there for Sami and then turns on him and then does go after the U.S. title. But, ultimately, if they were to jump back into the tag team picture, I think that could bring some more life to the tag team division, especially on SmackDown, since it has been fire as of late.
Yeah, I mean, they're always a great tag team. There's really no doubt about it. But they've been a tag team for forever, and that's what they've been known as. That's been some of the smack talk in promos, right? Is that they're nothing but tag team competitors, and they'll never be anything more. And I just feel like if they get back together and they're in a tag team, whether the division is on fire or not, it's gonna solidify all those comments and those promos that, oh, well, Jey, your run as with this title was only 30 days. This one was like a month and a half. So yeah, and now you're running back to the tag team division. Looks like you are just a forever tag team competitor. And they're not. That's how they got into the business, and it was phenomenal. But tag teams aren't meant to be forever, with the exception of New Day, it seems. But that's one out of how many decades of tag teams? I mean, there's only I can name two off the top of my head that stay together forever. and that's the Road Warriors and New Day, and that's it.
Yeah.
They need to push their singles competition. They need to fix Jimmy's run. They need to fix Jay's run or finish it the right way. They've done their time as tag teams. Let them be.
Yeah, I mean, it is, it does suck that they can't and won't give Jimmy a singles run, even with the U.S. title. Jay, got that quick one with the Intercontinental title, like you said, and then he 30 something days, and then the world title was just as short, if not, I mean, around that time, if not a little bit more. Jimmy been putting in the work just like Jay, just like Roman, just like Sammy, just like Solo, Sammy. Both got it. Sammy currently with the U.S. title. Definitely, Big Jim does deserve a shot with the U.S. title. Maybe they'll still do that. I mean, maybe they'll wait and just have Jay kind of. I mean, I don't know. Who knows where they're going to go? I guess we'll see with what unfolds at WrestlePalooza in Indianapolis here in about 2 weeks. The first one on ESPN, would have that nostalgia feel of them tagging together since it has been so long. First one on ESPN, first one of the new era. John Cena, Brock Lesnar, it's got that big fight feel. Stephanie and Io, big fight feel there. Don't want to see Io win. Give the title to Stephanie. I don't necessarily like whenever they do throw a title on someone who can't really speak English, or it's hard to make out what they're saying. But I mean, the way that card is shaping, they have 2 weeks to put at least 4 more matches together. And where will Raw pick off with Jay, thanking Jimmy, or how's that going to go? Maybe Jay comes out. He's been acting kind of heelish lately with what he's been wearing, how he's been acting. Is he going to come out and have that chip on his shoulder still, where he does say like, no, I'm not going back to the tag team. I got unfinished business to do. Or are they going to have that moment where they talk it out? And who knows? But Jimmy and Jay reuniting, seemingly going back to the tag team division. I'm 50-50. I mean, I like it just because hopefully it brings back that feel of the last 4 years with the bloodline being on top. I think Jimmy should definitely still get a run with the U.S. title for sure, but seemingly the Usos are back together and going to be back in a tag team, at least for the foreseeable future. I think down the road, that'd be like right before WrestleMania when Naomi would be due. So Big Jim might take a little bit of time off right there. So I mean, who knows at this point with what they're going to do. But I mean, sit back and enjoy the ride, just like what happened also on Raw here. Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch and CM Punk, they had a very tense face-off in the ring. I mean, Punk was saying some stuff. Rollins is going to regret cashing in. Becky's going to regret laying hands on him. And then that seemingly immediately shot the rumors off of and I see a couple people are joining in on TikTok there. Morgan, what's up? I miss you. But thanks for joining. Talking all WWE and football. So don't know how much you're gonna stay in, but I appreciate it. And then that seemingly shot the rumors right off to AJ Lee coming back, which we did see last night on SmackDown. So your thoughts on her returning and seemingly going to get Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins against AJ Lee and CM Punk at WrestlePalooza?
I love it. I mean, they set it up well. It was only logical that AJ Lee return. There's been rumors about AJ Lee, and the fans have been chanting for AJ Lee ever since CM Punk came back, right? So let's not forget that. The fans have been wanting AJ Lee back really since before CM Punk came back. Like Becky said in one of her promos recently, they've been chanting CM Punk's name ever since he left. in her matches, in Seth Rollins matches.
Yep.
Like, and of course, everyone loves AJ Lee, and she comes. It's a package deal with CM Punk. But really, it wasn't even when Punk said, "You're going to regret this." It was when Becky came out to Seth's music, and I said, "It's kind of been." I was like, "Here it is. We're gonna have a mixed gender tag team match."
Yep.
And Becky's gonna come out and she's gonna talk some trash, and this is where they set up AJ Lee's return with Becky being in, and it's they did it perfectly. I don't think there's going to be any way that they could keep fans from assuming or figuring out that AJ Lee was going to come back this Friday on SmackDown. But even with the fans knowing and figuring it out, they still did a great job. The pop was huge. And, it was just golf claps to Triple H. Well done. I loved the whole segment.
Yeah, I mean, the way they set it up was great. I was enjoying it. I, of course, didn't really get to see AJ Lee all that much. I remember her being a name whenever I was first elementary school days. It was more about the action figures, and then I remember like CM Punk and those big names. My cat is jumping on the table and is eyeing my keyboard, but I watched her mostly in heels. The show with Stephen Amell and everything, and everyone. CM Punk was in there too. This is Bella making her Saturday SmackTalk appearance, first ever appearance. She's gonna be in and out, but she was great in heels. Great in heels. That's a show on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, strongly would highly recommend it. But she looked great in that, and I think that's the most that she stayed like wrestling wise and in ring. Besides like going to WoW, and I think that was more helping with writing, and she's done a lot with movies and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, she looked great, looked to be in great shape, and I think we're in for a treat on Saturday, and it's really feeling super nostalgic with all the talent they're bringing back. Triple H's caption on the post when they did the finger point was "You can always come home." And I think that was geared towards really anyone that's over in AEW, that letting them know that they can always come home and come back. And I mean, Chris Jericho certainly is going to be on that list of rumors that are going around. That is he going to come back? And he did speak on that, had a quote on that. But yeah, I'm really excited for this one. Whenever they do make it official, I can't wait. They go from, of course, that segment to the Kabuki Warriors beating the Judgment Day. This one I'm getting tired of. I know we talk about the Judgment Day and they should have broke up, 3 years ago. What it feels like at this point, and then the Kabuki Warriors and Kairi Sane and Asuka, they're not really trusting Io Sky, and are Io and Rhea gonna join together? I mean, this is this portion of the Raw tag team division is kind of crazy. So your thoughts on the Kabuki Warriors defeating the Judgment Day and where we're going to be heading with the with those tag titles?
Honestly, it was just another match on the card for me. I think the bigger storyline here is the Kabuki Warriors splitting up from Io Sky, right? They've obviously got something plotted out, and Kairi Sane's gaslighting, or not really gaslighting, but lying to Io Sky and making her think that everything's okay, when really, obviously, her and Asuka clearly have something planned to break up the trio. And they've been building that relationship up with Rhea and Io, and it's not official. But brother, am I excited if Rhea Ripley and Io Sky become tag team partners? What a combo! You cannot beat that. It's a better version of Raquel and Roxanne. Is what it is.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. That definitely is a good combo, and it could be also another version of Charlotte and Alexa,
Right.
pairing up that powerhouse with the shorter, more high flying, quick, agile, partner and everything, and that seems to be what they're doing with the entire women's division, tag division there. Um, and the Judgment Day, are they going to be a forever tag team like we were talking about earlier with the New Day and everything? I mean, it's left to be seen with how they do that. And we did get got an update on the tag champs of Charlotte and Alexa last night on SmackDown there. But we go from one half of the Judgment Day to the other half. Finn Balor defeated Dragon Lee with a JD McDonough distraction. Balor did hit his finisher for the win, and seemingly, picks up a win over Dragon Lee, which they have been pushing. I believe he will be featured on the AAA, the Worlds Collide show next Friday. Finn Balor getting a win, as a lot of people like to see him get pushed, and he is still on a high level, even though I think he's now in his 40s, just turned up there. So you got to think within the next couple years, we only have limited time left with him. But Dragon Lee drops one. I know there's probably some people that don't necessarily like that one. But Finn Balor picks up the win, and after the last couple weeks, this led to Dominik Mysterio defending his Intercontinental title, as we saw last week. Whenever Dom did not help JD in his match, Finn was happy about that. So I don't know. I still say there's something there with that whole group and dynamic there. It just isn't right. Maybe with AJ Lee coming back, that will hurry up Liv Morgan and her return, just to make it even more like what's going on. And that goes from Finn Balor and Dragon Lee to Penta and the War Raiders beating the New Day and Grayson Waller, like you said. Your thoughts on those two matches there in the middle of the show?
Again, some good filler matches. I mean, Finn Balor and Dragon Lee obviously put on a show every single time that they wrestle. Both very talented wrestlers. One, a vet, and Dragon Lee's been in the business for a long time, even before WWE. Just great match. Of course, JD McDonough causes the distraction, which leaves Balor to win with his coup de grace for the win. But great for the show. Nothing spectacular about it. It was a good match, to the quality that we expect from these guys. Penta and the War Raiders versus the New Day and Grayson Waller. Interesting combination, but I feel like it's a high flyer with the 30-year-old dads that just love wrestling and want to cry war all the time and just beat people up. And I think it's great versus, of course, the grieving New Day and Big G, as they call him. Great match. Of course, the War Raiders and Penta win. They're the faces, and New Day. They're building them up as one of the best heels in the business right now as far as tag teams go. So great matches. I loved them.
Yeah, like you said, good filler. Mixing in there was great, along with the Intercontinental Championship match. Dominik Mysterio did defeat AJ Styles there, with the help of El Grande Americano and a loaded mask. Dom retains with a frog splash. Got to think with and AJ. Speaking of AJ Styles, he did have a post on Instagram the other day with an hourglass and his logo. And got to think that he's seriously thinking about retirement. I know his contract is up in January, right after the Royal Rumble. Or up in technically February, but it would be right after the Royal Rumble. And Bella is, I guess, not done making an appearance. She is just being as lovable as ever. Never mind. I guess she's gonna. I don't know what she's doing. and I guess this is crazy that I'm trying TikTok for the first time and all they're seeing is my cat climb all over me. But AJ Styles, I mean, got to think he's going to be seriously thinking about retirement. And, will they try to give him, will they have a swan song with him going into the Royal Rumble? I mean, it's gonna be a fun build to the Rumble, and they're going back over to Europe on the road to Royal Rumble, being of course in Saudi Arabia this year. So that is going to be interesting to see with that whole thing and him and his career, and just everything that he's done. And with that match, it goes into after that match, after AJ Styles loses again to Dom, putting him over again. We go into the main event, the tag match. Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed did defeat Jey Uso and LA Knight. Of course, Breakker seals the deal with a spear. And they were beating Jey down. Jimmy Uso came in to make the save, and that was Monday Night Raw. Your overall thoughts on the flagship from Monday?
Great show. I mean, I feel like WWE is absolutely cooking on just about all angles right now. There's some storylines I'm not a super big fan of, but I think overall the product is top tier right now, and which is really what you need going into Survivor Series, War Games, and then because right after that is the road to WrestleMania.
Yep.
Right, and then you've got the Rumble in January, February time frame, and this is when you need to be cooking, and really just top tier level weekly shows, PLEs, especially if you're going to be on ESPN now.
Yeah.
Right, for your PLEs. People have high expectations, especially after the last couple of years. So I'm happy with the product overall. It's not all drama and storyline. You've got a couple of regular matches in there that were great, and so you still get that professional wrestling aspect of the show, along with being able to keep up with the storyline. So, great show.
Yeah, they really are. They're doing a great job with attempting at this point to build new stars with the absence of Roman, and even their champion Cody is not been, he's off doing other things, having a baby and filming Street Fighter, of course. But yeah, I mean they're doing as good of a job as they can do. It has been kind of repetitive there on Monday Night Raw with the same ending week after week after week. So it was refreshing to not necessarily get the same ending with Roman getting beat down, and getting a favorite tag team of, I'm sure, everyone back together. I mean, I think they're going to turn it up at this point with heading into the ESPN era. I think they're going to turn it up, and we will see that and feel that in full force. Cena, the rest of Cena's retirement tour is coming up. They're going to go back to Madison Square Garden for him. That was his last time in Chicago last night, which we'll get into SmackDown here next. As Bella tries to get situated here, she's trying to drink my Prime, so I'm going to need to go to my Walmart storefront and get some more Prime. But
I'd say let her have some. See what happens.
Let him know. She does not need it. She does not need it at all. Yeah, it's this is crazy. She is the 5 weeks that we've been doing this, not once has she tried to do all this. And now all of a sudden she's like, you know what? I want to be in the show. But we roll into SmackDown last night. And of course, the big takeaway was AJ Lee's return. We talked about that. Her and Punk stood tall against Rollins and Becky. Rollins, of course, came down and then came around as Becky was getting beat down, and the way Becky was selling was just fantastic. She's so good at what she does. Leaving the title in there and AJ Lee picking it up. Of course, we saw both of the other titles on the line last night. So the U.S. titles and the Women's Intercontinental title all being pushed there on SmackDown. So it was cool to see some gold shown. I guess the tag team champs were there too. Tiffany Stratton did have a promo backstage talking about her and Jade's rematch for next week. So we already kind of went over AJ Lee being back and what that looks like. We started off the show with a U.S. title open challenge, Sami Zayn versus John Cena, and you probably watched this as it happened. But John Cena's debut was in the Allstate Arena all those years ago. And, of course, we know the story of that. And then 10 years ago, Sami Zayn's main roster debut, he stepped to John Cena to answer an open challenge for Cena in the U.S. title. So we're throwing it back and going full circle in a lot of ways. I mean, this one was an instant classic, as the kids say. Attitude adjustments, haluva kicks, avalanche AAs. I mean, Brock Lesnar showing up. John Cena can't wrestle all his old rivals, so he's paying homage to them by using their moves in his matches. We saw the homage to Kurt Angle with an angle slam and an ankle lock. Edge and Roman with spears. Even CM Punk a GTS and a pop-up powerbomb for KO. Your thoughts on I know you didn't see it, but just your thoughts on where we're at with Cena and his retirement tour and going into WrestlePalooza with Brock Lesnar and everything surrounding Cena in his final couple of days.
Yeah, I think it's going well. We're in single digits, folks. In case you don't know, this is his retirement tour, and he's got 7 appearances left now.
Yeah. So, it was SmackDown last night. Raw is in Massachusetts, and then WrestlePalooza, Crown Jewel, Saturday night's main event in November. They're going back to Madison Square Garden in November, so I think they added one more. But we're right around 7 or 8, definitely still in single digits. And looks like Saturday night's main event will also be the final match in Washington, D.C. On 12/13. So it's weird that they're doing back-to-back Saturday night main events. But I guess that, it's still quarterly technically, I guess. I don't know how that really all works out. But yes, final road for Cena's legendary career. And the last time is now.
Yeah, single digits, and then he's done. That's it. The GOAT, never seen, 17-time last real champion will be done. And obviously we know he can't wrestle everyone, either due to just them not wrestling anymore or being in other products or whatnot. But I love that he's paying homage to all those great rivalries, so we don't really miss out on a whole lot, and he gets to feel like he's honored everyone that's helped him in his career, that's pushed him. And from last week with the Styles Clash to Kurt Angle's angle slam, the spear, the GTS, and the pop-up powerbomb, I mean, I think that may also quiet the talks of Edge coming back at the last minute to face John Cena, which I'm still kind of disappointed in, because that was absolutely one of his greatest. Top 3 would probably be him and Brock, him and Randy, and him and Edge, and really you could swap any of those for the top spot. So I love it. Great way to bring up this U.S. title open challenge for him. And I'm glad he's not a heel. I'm glad that we got a heel run, but I'm glad he's not going to be finishing as a heel, because that's not John Cena's character at all. So I like it. I'm happy with where it's at. I think they've done a really good job getting so much out of a limited amount of shows. So, yeah. Great so far.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, not finishing it as a heel. We got the heel run. We know what that's not a what would have been question that we will be asked, years to come. We know what it looks like. We know what it was, and he's back to his regular John Cena self, which is great. That's how he should finish it. A lot of people say it was short, and what's the point of even doing it if it was so short and everything? But it is what it is. They did it the way they did it. It was great, and it all I think is going to work out. Last night with the Open Challenge, it was cool to see. Because from what I remember, like whenever I was seeing it on TV, not necessarily watching back in 04 to 06 ish, roughly in that ballpark, and Cena was on top like he was, and that's what I heard a lot of his U.S. title Open challenges and everything like that, and him with the U.S. title. That was the first singles title or first title that he ever won in WWE. So a lot of full circle moments on that one, as that kicked off the show, and being in Chicago, being in that same arena, and then ending the night with AJ Lee. It didn't overshadow anything. Brock Lesnar's return. I mean, everything all around it, surrounding it was great. Aleister Black and Damian Priest finally had a match, even though they had pre-bell, before the bell, attacking. Priest put put Aleister Black through the announce table with a razor's edge, and then a nasty, nasty, nasty Black Mass seals the deal and gets the win for Aleister Black over Damian Priest. They've been feuding for months now after SummerSlam. I mean, even before SummerSlam, I think. I mean, this one seems like it should have paid off with a match a long, long time ago, or they should have kept it going. And maybe, I mean, who knows? They probably will keep it going and throw this one onto WrestlePalooza there. But your thoughts on Aleister Black defeating Damian Priest and that whole rivalry as a whole? We saw R-Truth get involved for a little bit. Like you said, filler feud at this point, just to fill TV time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super excited about the rivalry. I feel like there's a lot of potential with it, but I just don't think that they've pushed for that potential, and it's just staying at potential. These guys are, great wrestlers. They're both kind of dark and, kind of give that Undertaker type of vibe, right? So, yeah. I just don't think that they're maximizing what this could be. I'm not really excited about these matches when they happen. It's right now it is a true filler match, in my opinion. They're just trying to kill some airtime.
Oh yeah.
Not something I'm super, super invested in or want to be invested in. Now, if they start cutting some promos and, maybe if one of them's supposed to be a heel, making them do some heel work, right? And really just, someone screwing the other one over, and adding just some fire to this feud, maybe I'll get excited about it. But until then, it just seems to be match after match after match, and R-Truth pops in every once in a while, and I feel like they're just killing time with this, honestly. They're just killing time in the show so that way they can meet their time requirements or what their target is, and there's just no it's like a book without the pages in it.
Yeah, it's really a no rhyme or reason type of feud, just to keep them both on TV, and Aleister Black comes back, and at this point it's like, okay, the return was fun, but that seems to be the only thing that's going to happen. Is that they're going to come back and it's going to be fun, and then okay, back to the mid card you go. Same with Rusev. He finally just had that payoff at a PLE with Sheamus. But it's like Rusev and Sheamus is equal to Damian Priest and Aleister Black. It's like why are we still doing this? I mean, you're yawning even just talking about it. The Donnybrook match at Clash in Paris was probably one of the better ones. There wasn't any necessarily bad matches on Clash in Paris. It's just that like surrounding it did not have the build that made anyone care about any of the matches on the card outside of Roman Reigns getting his shoes back, and then of course same ending as we see on Raw week to week is getting beat down. I mean, it give us something a little different. I mean, being on Netflix isn't necessarily doing it anymore. That like, okay, we don't have hype on that. It's been 9 months of being on Netflix, so it's like that's just the new norm. SmackDown has been here and there with excitement there, and it just I mean, from that match. Not really much to say. They finally actually had the match, but then that goes into backstage with Nick Aldis running to see that Becky Lynch has showed up, and we would get a conversation with him and Melo Don't Miz, who said that they want next for a tag title shot. Seems to be some still some small tension there with Melo and Miz. They're next up for World Tag Team Championship match. Becky Lynch does show up to the Allstate Arena, and then we see her in a locker room with Aldis coming in. Aldis telling her he doesn't want any problems. Becky seemingly saying, "I never cause any problems. I wouldn't do that," and just being good at what she does. And then we go into a promo package to set up some matches for next week. So Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre have a promo. Their match is set for next week. Again, why they don't just do this on WrestlePalooza? They still could. Throw a stipulation on there if you do that. Although Cody and Drew, that makes a little bit more sense if and when Cody does return. So that's set for next week. Jade Cargill gets her rematch for next week. They're in Norfolk, Virginia. Tiffany Stratton cut a promo talking about that. And then we had Jade Cargill and Nia Jax backstage in a locker room segment. So that seems to be the top three-ish in the main event scene on the women's side of SmackDown. So your thoughts on Drew and Randy next week and Jade and Tiffy next week?
Drew and Randy, man. I mean, I'm always excited for a Drew and Randy match. Those guys are absolutely... They're fire in their promos. They're fire in their matches. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get with these guys, but you do know that you're going to get something great. So I will never be upset about a Drew McIntyre Randy Orton match. Let's just lay the foundation now for that. That's where we're at with that. And then what was the other match? It was Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton.
Yep, and a rematch for the women's WWE title.
I mean, I'll watch it. It's not anything super crazy. I think Tiffany can beat her. I think it could go either way, but I kind of hope Tiffany Stratton keeps it. It is what it is. They haven't really built up the excitement for it with me. So I hope Tiffany gets it, but hopefully it's a great match. Not getting my hopes up. So,
Yeah. I mean, it seems like at this point they're really, really, really stretching it out before Tiffany gets someone new. And I mean, they're protecting her just as much as they protected Cody with his first run as champ there. I mean, and I'm tired of her. Nia Jax and Jade Cargill seem to be the only two outside of returning legends that come back and have championship matches, then go away. Seems to be that they're the only two in the main event scene. I mean, Naomi went and cashed in, went to Raw, and then, of course, relinquished it and everything. But yeah, I still think Jade should have won at SummerSlam, and then you could have just ran through ran through the roster with quick matches, and then as you build up someone, in NXT, make a call up and finally get new faces on SmackDown. I mean, it is very, very stale in that division. Nia Jax being the the main veteran in that division, in that locker room there. Natalya shows up every once in a while. She's more on Raw. But I mean, Tiffany Stratton, it's got her title run has gotten stale and stagnant, and the same thing over and over again. Just like Cody's first one, just like Cody's now, he won it at SummerSlam and was on the SmackDown after, and then hasn't been seen since. I know he's doing other stuff, so that's fine, whatever. But whenever his fans are the first ones to point out that Roman is never there, I mean, that's just like, man, I just, why is it okay for one but not the other, kind of thing. And speaking of not defending titles, Julia finally has a title defense and does defeat Michin to retain. So all of a sudden now they're pushing the U.S. title, the women's U.S. title. Kiana James being back on TV and being with Julia there is great. She did wrestle and made her, I believe that was her SmackDown debut, and lost to Michin in like 2 seconds in a quick roll up. I thought that was dumb. You could have just given Michin the match. You didn't need to waste a debut and do Kiana James like that. So hopefully we see more of her actually in the ring and wrestling. But Julia does retain the title there. And then, of course, that goes into the main event of Becky and Punk. Becky's promo being introduced by Rollins. Becky comes out, and then Punk interrupts. And then, of course, AJ Lee comes out, and then that was it. They didn't mention WrestlePalooza. But it definitely seems to be going in that direction. So we will just have to wait and see, get the official word. But they close out the show, and great pop, great overall week. Definitely better than weeks before. Raw really dragged 2 weeks ago. Then this week was okay. It was still kind of dragging. We watched it live on Monday since they were over in Europe, so it was on during the day. Definitely glad that I watched it during the day and not at night, and was able to do other stuff Monday night. But SmackDown was super quick paced. So that wraps up that week of wrestling there. And so your thoughts on, I know we talked about the overall look at the product and going into ESPN. So we'll go into the NFL, and kicking it off Thursday night, your Cowboys, did some Cowboys things that I hear. I honestly, I fell asleep, didn't get to watch it. I fell asleep before it even kicked off and woke up here and there. I saw they were up, and then I saw the final the next day.
Yeah, it was, it's a new head coach, some new coordinators, some new players on the team. I think for going into Philly, the defending champs, they had their Super Bowl banner celebration. Obviously, always a hostile environment. I think they did well. I was really, really impressed with the play calling from Bryden Schottenheimer as a first-time head coach. I think it was a good mix of everything. We got some run game going. I think Dak played well. There was a few big drops. I think that would have ended up in a win for Dallas. Jake Ferguson's, touchdown pass. There was some big drops, especially late in the game by CD Lamb, which, of course, he's already taken accountability for. But, brother, if Dallas is paying you that kind of money, and you had 7 total drops last year, and you're already at 3 to 4 in one game, brother, something's got to give, right? That's what they pay you that big money for, because you earned it, right? You earned that major contract along with Dak. You've got the numbers, 7 drops. you have shown that you are the clutch guy, and you're getting paid to be the clutch guy. Even though I know George Pickens is there, but you're the big dog on campus. You've got to make those catches. And the defense, a lot better than I expected. I think a lot better than a lot of people expected, especially with Michael Parsons gone. They did make some adjustments in the second half. They started spying on the quarterback there, and in the second half, and not letting Jalen Hurts hurt them with his legs. But the big thing is, last year and the last couple of years, Dallas has been absolutely disastrous when it comes to being run on in the middle. Right? That was the key. If you want to beat Dallas, score quick and then run the ball up the middle. They can't stop it. Micah can't stop the run, nothing. Kenny Clark comes over in the Micah trade. When he was in, they averaged 2.2 yards per carry up the middle. That's almost nothing, right? Yeah. And, we traded Michael Parsons. We got a couple of draft picks, and we got Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark's been there for less than a week, so obviously he wasn't in there for every snap. But it definitely showed when he was in there, and he's automatically already an impact player, and I think that's what Dallas needed. They needed to stop the run. Saquon Barkley had a touchdown, but he had 60 total rushing yards. And then now that we've talked about the run defense, let's go ahead and talk about the secondary. 1 reception for A.J. Brown, 3 receptions for Devontae Smith. Jalen Hurts, I believe, was finished under 200 yards passing. At Philly, Super Bowl celebration, hostile environment, and they keep Saquon under 100 to 60 yards for the game, 1 touchdown. Jalen Hurts under 200 yards, and a combined 4 receptions between their top 2 receivers who killed it last year, right, in the NFL. I'm going to be honest, they didn't win. It was 20-24, but they were supposed to be blown out in this game.
Yeah.
And minus a couple, if a couple plays go the other way, a couple catches get made either by Ferguson or CeeDee Lamb, we're talking Dallas 1-0 and Philly 0-1, and now they have to go to Dallas and play Dallas in Texas. So, it's very, very impressed. And like I said earlier, it's week 1. There's still 17 more weeks to play. So no one's going to go undefeated in this season. And but they got some stuff to work on. CD's got some hands that he's got to warm up and get to figuring out how to catch again. And I think they'll be all right. I think they'll have a winning season. I think they get to the playoffs. And who knows, at that point, they may actually do something in the playoffs. We'll see. But I'm very impressed with where they're at compared to last year with all the changes and losses of people. So,
yeah, like you said, Jalen Hurts under 200. He went 19-23 for 152, 14 carries and 62 yards rushing, with 2 touchdowns. Saquon Barkley, held under 100. That seemed to be the big thing last year with him, and getting over 100 seems like every week that was a given. He did, like you said, did have a touchdown there, and then Dak Prescott 21-34 with 188 yards, and George Pickens 3 receptions for 30 yards. So, again, have fun with that head case waiting to happen. I still stand by that. He's great. If they let him be great, he'll be great. But he definitely has he's definitely a head case waiting to happen. If he does not get his way, if he doesn't get the ball, it's going to go a different direction. But I'm excited to that. That's a great point, and I know a lot about that with the Steelers and how they play, and how a couple different plays go a different way, and it's totally different outcome. I know all about that way too well. As you do as well with the Cowboys, it seems like those 2 teams are always 1 and 2, 1A and 1B with a couple different plays, and it goes a totally different way. And then the Chiefs, like you said, going to last night's game, no one's going to go undefeated, not even the Chiefs. They dropped last night to the Chargers, and I mean that was probably just as shocking as what the game was on Thursday. Looking at the stats here, Patrick Mahomes, 24 of 39 with 258 and a touchdown. We saw Xavier Worthy get hurt. Well, I didn't see it because I was asleep, but I saw that was a big piece of the conversation there. Hollywood Brown, 10 receptions, 99 yards. Juju Smith-Schuster, didn't even know that he was still with the Chiefs, had 5 receptions for 55. Travis Kelce, 2 for 47 and a touchdown. And that seems to be about it for the offense there with the Chiefs. And then Justin Herbert, I mean, he had a day, 25 of 34, 318 and 3 touchdowns. I mean, that was seven rushes for 32 yards. I mean, that's insane for him. So cool to see an upset there in Brazil. And now we look at the Sunday slate, and I mean, it's just bask in the glory of the fact that we are talking about real meaningful football tomorrow. I know that I'm pumped for the Steelers to get back to it. Controversy coming out of Pittsburgh is Cameron Hayward is still wanting to get that new deal redone. He had a couple of different quotes in media meetings there the last week saying that he just like he's maximized on the field, he wants to be maximized off the field. And he's given a lot to the game. He can't play it forever. He wants to set things up well for his family. And it makes sense. But at the same time, he is the same person that had the quote of either you want to be here or you don't, or you want to be a Steeler or you don't. So it's going to be fun to see if he actually dresses and plays tomorrow. I never thought I would see the day where, I mean, he's a defensive captain and has been a defensive captain the last, I mean, however many years. It's wild to see him giving, this kind of look. But I mean, other than Cam Hayward being the main drama focus point on the Steelers this year, so it's crazy to see that it's defensive and not a wide receiver being, an airhead and a hothead. I'm pumped for the Steelers season, and I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow to recap it with you next week.
Yeah, for sure. It should be a good week. It's football season. I'm looking forward to every single weekend. So, I think it's time to talk about the other big loss. Texas dropped week 1 to Ohio State. Like I said it last week, if we're going to lose one, lose it in the first week. And the good news is we lost to a really good Ohio State team, defending national champions at the shoe. Arch looked like Arch. He looked like a brand new quarterback making his first start in a hostile environment. Big task. I wasn't super excited about the play calling from Sark either. I think that wasn't typical of his standard of play calling, what we're used to. But, who knows? He may not have opened up his entire playbook either. He's a creative genius when it comes to that. And so, we'll see. But at least the week 1 loss, it's out of the way. It's done. It's over with. Arch knows where he needs to work at. And, we'll see. We'll see what happens in the next 10 or 11 weeks. So,
yeah, it's going to be, a long season, just like the NFL. I mean, it's not as long as the NFL for sure, but, it's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen there. Is what it is. A loss is a loss. And, ultimately it's going to be fine for them. I'm sure they'll still, be there at the end, just like they were last year and only up from here. just like whenever Penn State gets to play in Ohio State or or even Oregon, being the two teams they lost to last year, same thing. One loss, nothing to sweat. Just gotta put that one behind you, but also keep it there to roll in an upwards trajectory and not let it happen again, because we know how it can go whenever you get to two or more losses here. Overall, great week one of college football. I mean, a lot going down, and of course, kicking off here in about 45 minutes. So can go and enjoy the rest of the day with all the football on today and then tomorrow as well. I mean, it's going to be a great time of the year, as we talked about before. Just to go over the rest of week one, and I was thinking maybe we can do. I didn't set it up. I didn't think about it till now, but we can maybe do an ESPN pick'em. I can make one here and then share it like as a group. We can then put that in the description and make posts for it, and anyone who is watching back on the replay, follow the link and make your picks as well. I'm gonna quickly log in here to ESPN, and yes, I am paying for the DTC. And the new, I still can't believe it, to be honest with you, that it's another subscription service, and it just, I mean, it's insane what we have to pay for to be able to watch wrestling.
Right.
So I put the invite link in the description there. Basically, we just make picks. So you can join that here, and then make them there. I can also send it to you on Messenger. We can kind of run through and maybe do make our picks for the rest of week one.
Yeah, for sure.
I think wrapping it up, and then go and enjoy football. Those watching on TikTok, of course, go over to the other channels, or Facebook or anything really there, and join our pick'em, and we'll see how it shakes out throughout the season. So the first one on the slate for Sunday is Tampa Bay and Atlanta. Definitely going Tampa Bay for me. Atlanta, I don't know. I like watching quarterback and seeing Kirk Cousins in Atlanta and everything. I think that they shouldn't have benched him, and he should still be starting there in Atlanta. But I'm picking Tampa Bay over Atlanta.
Yeah, I got to go with Tampa Bay as well. I mean, Tampa Bay is a solid team, and Atlanta is still running with the Kyle Pitts experience. So, I mean, they don't use Bijan like they should. So I don't know. Atlanta's got a ton of work to do. Not that Tampa Bay is perfect by any means, but I like Tampa over Atlanta.
Yeah. And then we go to the Bengals and the Browns. I hope both teams lose just because of the AFC North rivalry, but I'm going to go with the Bengals over the Browns.
Yeah, I mean, again, I feel if this was wrestling terms, a filler game.
Yeah.
Filler game.
For sure.
Right, either one. But yeah, Bengals just because of Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, and T. Higgins, the ones that's taking up all the salary cap.
Yeah, it is crazy with what they're doing over there in Cleveland. KLJ779, you can watch all the football and wrestling you want for the low cost of $2.20. Yeah, that's pretty much what it seems like. It's just like PNC is like, here you go, here's your check, and then it's like, all right, here you go ESPN, here you go Netflix, here you go HBO Max. I mean, it's insane. It is a tough time to be a sports fan. And at this point, it's like the UFC going to Paramount Plus is going to save you $75 a month. but you best believe it's going to be made up elsewhere for TKO. That's why they can go to Paramount Plus and only charge the regular subscription, because you're getting that 30 from ESPN, you're getting the 16 or 18, 20 basically from Peacock, and everything else with your cable pack to get the CW, and I mean it's absolutely insane. Just like another insane filler game, we have the Dolphins and the Colts. I'm going with the Dolphins. Sorry to my friend Chase, who is a Colts fan, but yeah, I mean, Danny Dimes, I think, is their starter down in Indianapolis. So Dolphins over the Colts.
Yeah, as long as Tua does not get concussed, I think the Dolphins will win.
Yeah. And then we go to the Raiders and the Patriots, another filler game for me. It looks like the Patriots have a 10% edge with the odds over the Raiders. I mean, at this point, the Patriots, I guess. I mean, this one, we got some stinkers right now to start it off.
Yeah, I'm going Raiders. We're going to differ. I like Genty. I think he's going to do well. I think the Raiders are going to do well as long as the receivers stop retiring.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true.
I think 2 receivers
my other cat, Lily, is pawing at my leg. I don't know if she's going to jump up here or not. Anyway, cat distraction. We go to Arizona and New Orleans, 92 to 8% on ESPN with the percentage and chances to win. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals.
Who was it? Cardinals versus who?
The Saints.
I almost want to say they're going to tie, but that's I don't know. Neither one of those teams are good. I guess I'll go with Cardinals.
Yeah. That was the last of the stinkers. We now have the Steelers and the Jets. I think everyone and their mother knows who I'm picking. Give me the Steelers.
Yeah, I got to go Steelers too. Jets just aren't good.
Aaron Rodgers gets the win in the return, and both starting quarterbacks going up against their old team. It's kind of surreal, kind of crazy how the NFL actually shakes out like that. But sometimes it is what it is. And I did see that 9 different in the last decade. There's been 9 quarterbacks that have started and played for the Steelers, and only one of them has a losing record, and that is Mitch Trubisky. So hopefully Aaron Rodgers, I mean, we know that he's going to be number 9, and he's seemingly going to retire at the end of the year. So next year we will get number 10. If that is Mason Rudolph, if that is Will Howard, at this point, either one of those two, I think I would be okay with. I mean, I don't know if Mason can go a full season being the guy, but we saw what he can do for 4 weeks. I think they should have kept it with Mason and Will Howard. But I mean, I guess Aaron Rodgers is the next best thing to come in and teach them and have one final year, and a swan song, as they say. And we'll see what happens this year, and hopefully can win the games we're supposed to win, and not lose the games we are supposed to not lose. So that goes into one of the other 9 quarterbacks. We have Russell Wilson and the Giants against the Commanders, and it is a 94 to 6% in the odds there. I'm going Commanders over the Giants.
Oh, easy one. Commanders. Next. Don't even have to debate that. That's an easy one.
Next is the Panthers and the Jags, 79 to 21%. Being down here in North Carolina, I would say that I would go with the Panthers, but even the Carolinians down here know that they suck, and there's no chance that that's going to turn around in the near future. As much as I'm not a fan of AEW, Tony Khan and all them over there in AEW, I guess I'll go with the Jags here over the Panthers.
Yeah. Again, I could see them tying at 0 apiece. Yeah, I guess we'll go Jags.
Then we roll into the Titans and the Broncos. This is another big split and big difference. 95% to 5% overall, like being picked there. So the Broncos and the Titans, I'm going to go with the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm currently in Tennessee right now, but Broncos are going to take it.
And back to the last one. I don't know a single Panthers fan, even as a native North Carolinian. Here we go. She's learning the lingo. And she has been studying Football 101. And she watched more of the game on Thursday night than I did. And that is, of course, my beautiful wife. Beautiful wife Martina is here and watching, and we definitely appreciate it. And yeah, I have not yet met a single Panthers fan myself. Wore a lot of Steelers stuff so far being down here, and got a lot of like, hey, that's a great shirt. So I feel right at home, and we are in the Steelers market down here in North Carolina. So that is just fantastic. I'm learning my coach, Nick Weitoish, is a great football teacher. There we go. I just got the notification thing for TikTok that it's going to end in 5 minutes. So we'll quickly wrap it up here. I guess we have been going for right around an hour. So not as long as last week, but still a great show overall. Finish up here with the picks. The Niners and the Seahawks. I'm going to go with the Niners.
Yeah, I could see Seattle pulling an upset, but I like the Niners to win. I don't like the Niners, but I like
I know what you mean. I mean, Geno Smith. No, he's in Vegas now at this point. Everyone bounces around. I liked him in Seattle, but I do like Geno Smith because of him being at West Virginia at one point. But we go from there to Detroit and Green Bay. Definitely going with the Lions on this one again after watching quarterback. Big fan of Dan Campbell and Jared Goff and what they're doing there in Detroit.
Let's see. Who'd you say it was? It was Detroit and who else?
Green Bay.
That's tough. That could go either way. Especially with, you know what? I'm going Green Bay.
Okay, so we defer again.
I like Jordan Love and Matthew Golden.
Yeah.
I think Micah Parsons for their defense will change their defense up. He's not the piece that I think Dallas needed, obviously, with the run defense, but I think he'll be good in Green Bay. I think that's more of what they needed there in Green Bay. So,
yeah, that should be a fun one. I mean, it's 73% to 27%. That is percentage of fans picking each one. Overall, it's Detroit plus 110, Green Bay minus 130 for the odds there. That one goes into Houston and the Rams. So the Texans and the Rams. Give me the Rams.
Are they at Houston?
They are in LA.
All right. I'll go with the Rams. Home field advantage.
That is the final 425 game for tomorrow. And we then go into Sunday night, the first Sunday night football game of the year on Peacock, another wonderful streaming service that we need to enjoy being a sports fan. Baltimore and Buffalo and everyone and their mother knows exactly who I'm picking. Give me the Bills.
Yeah, Buffalo, by and far. I don't know. Hold on. I'm going to recant that. I'm hot take. I'm going Baltimore. Going Baltimore, brother.
Well, we can't all be perfect.
King Henry. That's right. Some of us are Steelers fan. You're correct.
Oh, well. Easy there.
Some of us are just happy with the winning season.
Bella is joining back in to
support the Cowboys.
To lay it the smack down on that statement there. But we go from Sunday night into Monday night, and that is the Vikings at the Bears. Give me the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Vikings.
All right. And then we have the tiebreaker for Monday night. How many total points will be scored in Vikings versus the Bears?
Oh gosh. Are we talking over under?
Just total points. Yeah, just total points. This point, I mean, what was it? Was 24-20, and then 27-21. I mean, I'd say 48 seems to be the magic number to me.
I'm gonna say 45.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. So I did send the link there for the pick'em to you on Facebook. I posted it in the chat there. Not getting a fantasy league together here at the Tired Sports Network, which Saturday SmackTalk is, of course, presented by. I think I missed that in the beginning. But it's Saturday. You know what that means? The Smack Talk being laid down, gearing up and getting ready for another week of college football, and of course, Kat getting in the way as she does. But we will wrap this one up and get ready to go and enjoy another weekend of college football. We'll see you right back here next week on the Tired Sports Network. The Pigskin Pick'em is down below. It'll be posted across all the channels there, all the pages there. TikTok people, anxious to see what this turns out to be. But from Bella, from me at Sleeper Sports Media, and from Josh, anything to say before we wrap it up, and then we will see everyone next week.
Nope. Looking forward to a good weekend of football. So go find me at Lacing Up Sports Media on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, and yeah, enjoy your weekend.
All right. Well, there you have it. Thank you, everyone, for joining, for tuning in, for watching on the replay, watching on YouTube, on Twitch, on Facebook, for the network, for TikTok, everything under the sun. Thank you again for watching, and we will see you next week. And Bella, tell them that we're out.